Okay, so this is on dimensional analysis, and it's just one way for us to convert from one set of units to another. Later on in life, we're going to be using it to apply to actual lab settings where we're wanting to solve for some certain quantity, or how much oxygen have we generated, all sorts of wonderful things that we can do with it. So the beginning tool is just simply going from one step to another. And I've come up with a question. I said, how many meters in 632 miles? First step with anything is to start with what you know. We're given 632 miles, and we eventually want to get to meters. What conversions do I have? I look on my sheets to see, and in the one textbook I'm looking at, I have something with miles in it, but it only relates to kilometers. So 1 kilometer equals 0.621 miles. But I have an answer that I want in meters, so I need to find a relationship between kilometers and meters. And that one is 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. Okay, so there's going to be my final unit that I want. This is what I'm starting with. So I need to use these pieces to finally get me to meters. And the trick is that you want whatever unit that you need to end up with to be on the top, or the numerator, and you want this unit to go away, so it needs to have its conversion on the bottom of a fraction. So let's write that out, make a little more sense. 632 miles. So the only conversion I have here for miles is 0.621 miles. And it goes on the bottom because that lets me cancel this mile with this mile. This is just like having an x on top of an x. Or if you had 4 divided by 4, you would say, well, obviously that's 1. Well, that's what I'm doing here. A mile divided by a mile is just the same as 4 divided by 4. It cancels out. It becomes 1. So now it goes on top. I have my 1 kilometer. Come over here. I need kilometer on the bottom because I want meters. So whatever this is, this guy's got to come down here. 1 kilometer down here, and 1,000 meters up top. That gives me meters in my final answer on the top. So now let's check this out. Does it cancel? Kilometer to kilometer. It indeed does. So miles canceled, kilometers canceled, and I'm left with just meters. So I number crunch it, and I get 1.01935 times 10 to the 6th. Because, whoops, make that clear, because my calculator likes to give lots of numbers. But sig figs, you're screaming, right? I know you are. I know it. What about sig figs? I have 3 that I'm given, and in this conversion I actually have a limiting factor of 0.621 miles, because it's not precisely 0.621 miles per kilometer. It's actually quite a bit bigger number, so that one's limiting. But this one doesn't count towards our sig figs, because otherwise that would be just 1, right? But this is an absolute value. This is the same as saying 12 eggs in a dozen. There are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. The end. This is a complete conversion and a complete identity for these two pieces. So it does not count in our sig figs, nor does this. So, with that said, we have 0.621 is 3, this is 3, our final answer is 3, which puts it here. So now we need to round that. So 1.02 times 10 to the 6th meters in 632 miles. So there you go. Dip your toe in the pool. That is dimensional analysis. We're going to do something a little more complicated in just a second.